welcome everyone. I'm Janna, Cohen Rosenthal. I'm the Climate Programs Director at Second Nature. And so I'm going to take a little more time to popcorn many different initiatives that are going on. So about a year ago, we gathered in Phoenix and Tempe, and we talked about a new concept of network design for our network, the Climate Leadership Network. And the goal was to use the climate solutions power of our institutions and to magnify that across the network. And we have a very interesting network. We have a dual network. We have a presidential network and implementation liaison sustainability director network. And using that power to solve our big problems. And I think in the past year, we've been pretty successful. We looked cross-sector for examples from our partners at USDN, the Urban Sustainability Directors Network, because they work in this function as well with mayors and with city sustainability directors. So I'm going to talk about some of the exciting results of this past year of network design. So the climate leadership commitments have been around for about 10 years. And during that time, we've been collecting data from our signatories. And now we want to use that network benefit and help inform the next 10 years of action. And I'm going to show you some of the results of that data. So what we've discovered through our partnership with Fovea, which is a wonderful consultancy who helps look at energy systems, was that our signatories, on average, are on track to meet their goals. However, those goals are incredibly reasonable. And in the next 50 years, we have audacious goals. How can we work harder and drive further action? And that is through many different ways. And something that we're excited to announce today is a system of recognition for those institutions who are really pushing the button, picking audacious goals, and performing and meeting those. And we're calling these marks of distinction. So this is just a draft version, and over the next few months, you'll see more of this information. So these marks of distinction are split somewhat between, I would call, data or performance-driven actions. One thing to pull out, for instance, is using 100% renewable energy. So that would obviously be reliant on you reporting the amount of renewable energy you're using on both electricity and your thermal. On the other hand, we have marks of distinction for participating in initiatives, such as We Are Still In or our $1 Billion Green Challenge. So we're trying to, take both sides here, using data on performance, so that's real transparent results, and also the leadership power of participating in new challenges and new goals. So I want to talk very quickly about a few of these initiatives, and it's somewhat, many of the people in this room have worked very hard on these initiatives, and on our website you can find contacts on staff and in our network who you can talk to more about that. But I just want to draw your attention so then you can go look and learn more about them. So one initiative that I've been working more closely on is our resilience efforts through a Kresge Foundation funded grant called CRUX. So we have 3 fellows working at ASU, our host here, Portland State, and CSUN. And these fellows are working very directly with their campuses and communities to drive resilience. And this is new for us. We've been very campus focused as a network and as an organization. And now we've been developing very exciting resources to work more closely on resilience with your local community. And one of those resources is something called the Community Resilience Building Workshop. And we've partnered with the Nature Conservancy out of Connecticut on this really exciting initiative where you get all of the stakeholders, the we went to one in Eastern Connecticut, the chief of police for this town. You have the president of the institution and all of the stakeholders who would be involved in resilience planning together in a room and go through very quickly a facilitated process to come up with your key resilience steps and actions. And very excitingly, we actually worked with our capital, with DC, on training all of the institutions in DC in the same method. And now they're going back to their campuses and performing these community resilience building workshops. And we really hope to take that model of a city being a partner with their higher ed institutions forward. So that's exciting. Another initiative that brings the power of people together is on large-scale renewable energy, and we're working with our partners at Customer First Renewables and with ASHI on hosting workshops at different campuses where somewhere between 5 to 15 institutional partners can get together and talk about how they can expand their power and buy large-scale renewables. And this is modeled after the example actually also from DC of American University and GW and the hospital who created this aggregated purchase. And just to emphasize, we are not going to get to our climate neutrality goals if institutions aren't doing things like this. Most institutions cannot cover their rooftops in solar. They have to think very hard about large-scale renewable energy purchases that might be off-site and aggregated. Another initiative that we're excited about is the C2P2 program, and we actually had an institution who decided to join our network so they could participate in this program in Milwaukee. And through this program, we're generating carbon credits, carbon offsets for institutions to sell, and then they reinvest that back into more activity on their campuses. So again, if we're going to hit that big cliff, we need to invest in the short term so that we can have the long-term carbon gain. And so people will say, well, that seems a little fishy. How do you track that? Well, we're very excited to announce a new partnership where we're managing the $1 Billion Green Challenge, which is a initiative to help use more revolving loan funds. And through this, institutions have access to software where it tracks their cost savings every year. And we're hoping to expand through our dual network of presidents and maybe some investors into these funds that have great returns, very good returns. So, and last but not least, a wonderful initiative, which we're going to hear more about today, is We Are Still In. So Second Nature provided the conduit for higher education to participate in this amazing cross-sector effort. And last but not least, we cannot do any of these initiatives if people don't know about them and if we don't communicate. So we're working to expand our network strategy, our cross-communication. And if you have any suggestions about how we can amplify both the network message and the good news stories from each of our institutions, please be in touch. We want to know how to do that. I believe we're going to be live streaming our events today, and please help support spreading the news about the great work happening here. So in conclusion, please find myself or any of the Second Nature staff or any implementation liaisons or members of our working groups and talk more about these exciting initiatives. And at the end of the day, we're going to have some working time to come up with even more of them. Because if we could get all of this done in a year, I can't even imagine what more we can get done in the next few years. So thank you.